Hey guys, welcome back to Mauler TV. Mauler JM here with you. And I'm using some new software. I hope you guys like it. We're coming back with Get a Clue today, and I'm teaching you how to build the taming boat because you're going to need one of these things. Get yourself a bunch of material. They say use thatch so you don't waste too much material. I like wood because it just works better for me. Make sure you set the first piece as close to the center as possible, just on this side of that wooden rail that's on the front of your boat. Throw a pillar into it, and you're immediately going to realize it lets you drop it down. If it's not dropped down, hit the select button. That'll actually force it to go through the different snap point options that you have available, and then destroy that previous foundation and continue that process until you get these foundations pretty deep into your boat. Now you'll see kind of where I got this thing going. We're pretty close to the base of the boat right now. I don't want to place this one, otherwise we won't be able to drive the boat. So make sure that you don't get too close. This was the first time I actually did it perfectly, so it takes some practice, there's no doubt about it. I like the positioning of that last foundation, so that's going to be the main deck for the boat itself. Still, again, you can't drive the boat though if you're at that level, so make sure that you use this little trick I'll show you here in a moment to actually drop a foundation deeper into the boat so that you can actually drive the boat and get the protection on the bottom of the boat as well. Now don't place this one, because you're going to need to drop this next one down. So I throw a pillar into this guy, and then it gives you the option when you hit the select button of that other snap point. Nicely, it turns green. It's actually buried right into the boat itself. That's really nice thing to have. I'll show you how we can protect the top here in a moment, but it's going to protect the bottom right now. So go ahead and place the rest of your wooden foundations, and then grab your thatch roofs. So you're going to put thatch roofs on the edges, so you need 3 on the front and 3 on the back. The reason you're putting the ceilings in, the roofs in, is because you need something for a foundation to stick to. And something weird about this game, but foundations actually stick to the bottom of ceilings if there's room. So it's a nice way to fill in holes or to build longer boats. Sometimes when you're building on a slope, you have that issue where all of a sudden the foundations aren't running flat. Sometimes you can get away with using ceilings and clicking them to the bottom. So it's a nice little feature. Get yourself into the water. That's how I've done this the best. And throw those foundations on the front and the back. So now you're protected where you actually had those ceilings. You can destroy those now if you'd like. It's really up to you. I wait till a little bit later till I have the whole thing done. Now I made a mistake here. Be really careful when you do this, because now all of a sudden I realized I can't drop this one down. So I tried a pillar right next to it, and unfortunately that doesn't work. I think it wants to snap to both of those foundations, so it wants to stay up. But I learned a little trick right before I was about to destroy the whole thing, which was put a foundation in the front, and it actually gives you that snap point where you can drop the foundation down into the boat and still be able to drive the boat. Don't waste materials like I did. Shows you that you always make mistakes. There's no doubt about it. Destroy those pillars. You don't need them anymore, and go ahead and fill the rest of your boat with concrete. Now I will say that if you're in the regular version of the game, turn this thing into metal. You don't want to mess around. If you're in the Primitive Plus version of the game, go ahead and upgrade this thing to concrete when you get an opportunity. It's going to make it a lot stronger, especially for some of the stuff that we actually come across out there in this crazy world. Yeah, you don't want to be sitting with wood all day. I'm telling you that for sure. Go ahead and destroy your roofs if you haven't to this point. Get rid of those things. You don't need them anymore. And now you have this really nice deck, 3 by 5. So it's going to give you a lot of room to be able to do a bunch of stuff with it. Now to protect the top, I learned this. Get yourself a hatch frame and throw it right over the top. I've also been able to throw the window in, but unfortunately lately it hasn't been working for me, so I don't know what's going on there. You'll see drive actually shows up in the menu when you flip the door open, but it doesn't let you select it. It just keeps messing with the window. So maybe you have to do what I do, which is destroy that darn window and just move on. Now grab your walls. You're going to need quite a few walls because we want to make this thing too high. Now you're going to skip a few spots because you'll want a door here and there. Maybe you want to put windows in. It's really up to you. I like keeping it somewhat secure. I put a couple of windows in the front, but that's a taming scenario, and we'll show you that later. But just run your walls all the way around and then double them up when you get an opportunity. So here you go. Now this is what I ended up with. I put a hatch frame in the back there so I could get access to the ceiling. This one little thing cost me a ton of time. I actually built most of the boat and then had to destroy it. What I realized is I want a window here, but I want it on the foundation on the inside. Otherwise, if you put it on the foundation on the outside, it's going to make your ceiling look all goofy. And being kind of OCD like I am, that wasn't going to fly for me. So I went ahead and made the correction there. Make sure it's on the foundation on the inside of your 3x3 little base area that you're going to have for this boat itself. And then go ahead and put your ceilings in there, or your doorways. If it doesn't, now you'll see that this thing kind of flickers back and forth on me. Hit the Y button and it'll actually flip it to the side you want and make it all nice and even. Sometimes it gets a little funky and you might waste some materials, but hey, that happens with this game. Put the walls up, make this thing all too high, and then we're going to put in the door, the good part. The actual taming part is coming next. Make sure you have yourself a door frame or a stone gateway and a stone gate and a couple of fence foundations because you're going to need it. So take your fence foundations and go ahead and place them right on the edge here. You want to make sure they're even. I think it's probably an OCD thing again for me, but I think the door's going to snap a lot easier if these things are even. So make sure they're even. Grab your gateway and throw that thing in. Now again, you can hit the Y button and flip it back and forth. You know, it has a little different opening on one end versus the other. I like the angled end in towards the boat, but that's just my prerogative. It's really up to you guys. I think it looks better too. And then throw your gate in, and boom, you have the beginnings of a taming boat. You have a little base inside and a little area to where you can kite those dinos right into your base or into your boat without really doing a whole hell of a lot of work, which is really nice. Now, I had a little problem putting these ramps in for some reason. Well, first of all, the noobness of me running around swimming trying to actually place this ramp. But for some reason in Primitive Plus, it doesn't let you put the second one down. In the regular version, the second one goes down without a problem. So we have a little Primitive Plus fix. We are truly going to call this a small taming boat. So I destroyed those ramps and lowered the whole wall system down one right here in the front. And then just put your ramps back in, and then you have a small tame boat. So you're going to be able to get dire wolves and saber tooths, raptors, scorpions, you know, those type of dinos. You really don't want to mess with Carnos or Rexes or anything, because actually once you start firing at them, they'll turn around and just run out of your boat, which kind of is a pain in the butt, especially if you're going to waste materials trying to knock out a dino for a Rex. You don't really want that as a situation. So I wanted to take this around and test it for you guys. So I'm going to show you how it works. Throw a dodo on top and it'll aggro everything right into your boat. You won't even have to jump up and get onto the edge. That's how I used to do it. Is I used to jump up my little ladder there in the back and get on top of the boat. But, you know, forget that business. There's no sense in doing that when you can actually just use a dodo that takes, 5 minutes to tame. The other thing you guys need to be aware of when you're out and about in the lake, in the water, in the oceans, is there is a new whale. Now, I knew there was a whale that eats boats, but I did not know that there's an alpha version of this whale. This thing, as you can see here, this was the end of our journey. We took quite a few hits with this guy. The dodo pretty much got eaten in about 5 seconds by something else. I don't even know what hit, but look at that guy. That's a level 11 alpha leadus, whatever you say. And this thing hit the boat maybe 6 times, and we were done. So be really careful when you're out there, guys. I thought it was going to be somewhat passive and let me swim away, but yeah, no, that didn't work out too well. This thing ate my face and ended our day. I hope this really helps, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Comment, subscribe, and leave those likes. Till next time, guys. See ya!